coming and joining our launch session of the 1 month campaign, United with Pakistan. And as we know, the unprecedented floods have happened in Pakistan, influencing 1/3 of the country and a huge population of 33 million people. And at SCOLAR as the community that is uniting right now 10 hubs around 7 countries. With 3 hubs in Pakistan, we stand close to our brothers and sisters or friends in Pakistan. And in our humble capacity, we're launching this campaign to raise awareness of the floods and its influence and impact from the climate change. And at the same time, we're raising the donations to, again, do a little step that we can to help people in the country to recover from the floods. We also understand that this is an effort that will require global youth, not only young people, but also institutes and countries to come together to rebuild the country. But at the same time, we want to do everything in our capacity as SCOLAR community to help the country, and we empathize a lot with our Pakistani friends. And as I always say, when we open the hubs, and when we open the 3rd hub in Pakistan, that among all of the many of the youth from the SCO region, our Pakistani friends are among the most active ones and among the most proactive ones. So we'd like to support and would like to do everything in our capacity, at the same time raising awareness among, and hopefully raising our voice loud enough for the bigger institutions and companies to draw their attention and help the country. And this is right now about the campaign, but in the future, we'll also bring in our soft skills and, let's say, soft power that we have on the educational capacity, on the cross-cultural or neighborhood capacity that we can to make sure that the Pakistani youth can continue to grow, to learn, to develop, and find more opportunities for their growth and for their families as well. So thank you so much, Mr. Muhammad Rumman, and everybody who is joining us today. And we're looking forward to having our voices raised and heard. And we're happy that SCOLAR could play this medium role on facilitating the conversation. And I'll pass it over to Shikha Thapa Magar, who is our SCOLAR community impact manager, and who is also founder of Kathmandu Hub in Nepal. And she was the one who was on this project, running it through and working with everybody on the campaign. So Shikha, over to you.
Thank you, Vika. Good afternoon. Greetings to all. First of all, I would like to show my gratitude to Mr. Rumman for joining us for this call, and also representatives from our Khidmat Foundation Pakistan and Misal from Ahmad also joining us today here, and also our curators Pakistan from Islamabad, Lahore, and Karachi for providing us support to help flood victims in the ground level at Pakistan. And today we are here together to support Pakistan because we have seen that recently Pakistan has gone through a very devastating flood disaster, which has taken more than thousands of lives, and also more than 33 million people are being displaced, and also 1/3 of the country is impacted by floods. So we are very glad to initiate this flood because at this moment it is very necessary for us, for all of us to come together and also provide a little help, even if it is little, it is very important to provide So we are glad that we could use our connection, our platform, SCOLAR Network, to provide this help and support to Pakistan. So thank you all for joining. And I would like to also thank you, SCOLAR Shanghai Hub, Lahore and Beijing Hub for gathering offline together, and also all the online participants to joining us and supporting our launch event for our 1-month campaign, United with Pakistan. So welcome and thank you to all. Now I would like to pass it to Zoon, our Goodwill Ambassador of SCOLAR.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, obviously, Vika, Victoria Koo, and Shikha. And I think before we open the floor, obviously invite our keynote speaker, Mr. Mohammed Rumman, who has been an inspiration and a friend of SCOLAR for a long time. Mr. Mohammed Rumman Ahmed is the Counsellor of Pakistan Embassy in China, and he's the permanent representative of Pakistan to the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. And actually, SCOLAR, this initiative as well, what it represents is the Shanghai spirit. We at SCOLAR, an organization I'm also so lucky to be associated with, to be a part of since 2018, is about connecting young people on issues that matter. And today it is Pakistan, tomorrow it can be any other country. So we as the young people want to unite, and we want to unite together for each other for such issues. So today, this is a wonderful initiative. We are lucky to have so much support, and especially from you, Mr. Rumman, and from the Embassy of Pakistan. So without further ado, over to you. We look forward to hearing from you and to really start our 1-month-long campaign.
Thank you, Zoon. Formally, good afternoon, Ni hao, and greetings of peace to you all. It is indeed a matter of great honor and pride for me to participate in today's launch of the campaign United with Pakistan, a month-long fundraising campaign for relief and rehabilitation of the flood-affected areas and people in Pakistan. Before me, the speakers were thanking me. It should be the other way around. It is obviously as a government functionary, as a diplomat of Pakistan, this is our duty, but I need to thank people who go beyond their capacities and their, of course, functions to help us. So in that respect, let me first thank Victoria, a good friend, president of the SCOLAR Network, Shikha, the project manager, and I believe everything behind SCOLAR. She's very active. And of course, the SCOLAR Goodwill Ambassador, my very good friend, Zoon Ahmad, and also our host for today's event. While I'm acknowledging people, let me also appreciate, I'm not sure if Mr. Shahid Iqbal has joined us yet, but I'm sure behind the scenes he's active in these activities. So let me appreciate Mr. Shahid Iqbal, the General Secretary of Al Khidmat Foundation, Pakistan, and of course, Ms. Mishal Atar Shah, the Director Pervaz of Akhuwat Foundation. Given that their foundations are directly involved in the relief work on the ground, their feedback and inputs would be extremely valuable, I'm sure. And I'm also confident that the panel discussion that would follow later on would enhance our understanding of the issue that we are likely to confront in our efforts to provide relief and assistance to the flood-affected areas and people. Friends, by now, we all know from news reports and clips on social media, torrential monsoon rains compounded by excess meltwater from Pakistan's glaciers have triggered the most severe floods in Pakistan's recent history. The impact is unimaginable. The floodwaters have inundated tens of thousands of square kilometers of the country. So much so that our initial estimate from $10 billion has now been revised to $30 billion, a staggering amount. And we are still in the initial stage of post-disaster. As floodwaters slowly recede, in 6 months, by some estimates, the sheer scale of damage is of catastrophic proportions. As people already mentioned, the floods have affected more than 33 million people. To put it into perspective, that's 1 in 7 people in the country. If we talk about the damage to public and private infrastructure, more than 2 million houses have been damaged or destroyed. A staggering statistic again. The most effective province is Sindh, with around 1.8 million homes fully or partially destroyed. Public health facilities, water systems, and schools have been destroyed or damaged. Around 1 million acres of standing crops and orchards have been lost or affected. Over 150 bridges have collapsed, and about 3,500 kilometers of roads have been destroyed. The toll on the living is equally devastating. Over 1,600 people by now, including 340 children, and more than 1 million livestock have been killed. This is, by the way, as I say, the figures so far. As I mentioned before, we are still in the early stage of post-disaster assessment, and our assessments are at best assessments at this point in time. As floodwaters recede, then we'll know the actual extent of the damage, which is likely to go up rather than go down. Around 3.4 million children are in need of assistance and at an increased risk of waterborne diseases, drowning, and malnutrition. People are still living out in the open with no drinking water, no food, no livelihood, exposed to a wide range of new flood-related risks and hazards, including from damaged buildings, drowning in floodwaters, and waterborne diseases. People are in desperate need of shelter, food, clean water, toilet facilities, and free medical support. As the local markets have already been, have also been affected, people are unable to buy essential everyday items. This is why, as of August 30, the government of Pakistan declared a national emergency and called for international aid for humanitarian relief efforts. Friends, Pakistan is among the 10 countries most affected by extreme weather events, despite its very low carbon footprint. While national efforts are underway to support the affected people, international solidarity is crucial to adequately address the impact of these floods. In the short term, core relief items are needed. That includes tents, sleeping mats, blankets, and mosquito nets. To help with the restoration of livelihood opportunities, we'll require targeted food assistance to the most at-risk populations, along with cash assistance as well. In addition to securing essential medicines and equipment to treat the injured, efforts would also be required to mitigate the risk of outbreaks of communicable and infectious diseases, particularly in camps and where water, sanitation, and hygiene facilities have been damaged or affected. In the long term, sustained and adequate financial and material assistance would be required for the reconstruction and rehabilitation stage. Colleagues, the magnitude of the task requires a Herculean effort. We all need to join hands to extend our help and assistance to the flood-affected areas and the people who are in dire need of food, shelter, and medicines. In that context, I'll again convey my sincere appreciation to the SCOLAR Network for this fundraising idea. SCOLAR Network, with its hubs in Lahore, Islamabad, and Karachi, and the two foundations, Al-Khidmat and Akut foundations, must be recognized for their laudable efforts to provide relief and assistance to the calamity-hit areas and people. I'm sure that the fundraising campaign we are launching today will help support and augment the ongoing efforts by the Embassy of Pakistan here in Beijing. This campaign will help spread information and awareness about the scale of the crisis. Given our strong and deeply rooted brotherly relations with the Chinese government and people, I'm confident that they would donate generously in monetary and material terms to help us in these difficult times. And not surprisingly, already there are people who have donated their monthly salaries, and even children who have given their annual pocket money. The outpouring and sympathy from across China is indeed very touching and moving. Colleagues, no one can miss the fact that climate change footprint is all over these unprecedented floods. Monsoon rains are a yearly feature in Pakistan, but this year, the rains have lasted for twice as long. The amount of rainfall nearly 3 times higher than the 30-year average. We have also experienced a different extreme, record-breaking heat with soaring temperatures over 45 degrees Celsius. These higher temperatures mean more meltwater from the glaciers feeding into the Indus River. Higher temperature also means making it harder for the floodwater to be absorbed into the baked hard ground. And the issue with climate-induced calamities and crises is that it does not affect everyone equally. Children are affected more than adults. Pakistan is affected more than others. Despite contributing less than 1% of global greenhouse and carbon emissions, Pakistan is facing the brunt of our worsening natural environment. Colleagues, if immediate measures are not taken to improve climate crisis preparedness, mitigation, and adaptation, these disasters will worsen, both in their magnitude and frequency. We need to seriously consider and strengthen international cooperation in the areas of climate resilience, early warning system, disaster-resistant construction, and energy transition, to name a few areas. The international community also needs to heed the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres' call for massive and urgent financial support for Pakistan, as he observed very rightly in his remarks during his visit to the flood-affected areas in Pakistan. This is not just a question of solidarity or generosity. This is a question of justice. The calamity in Pakistan is a wake-up call to the international community. As UN Secretary General has stated, today it's Pakistan, tomorrow it could be your country. So my message to our friends and our Chinese brothers and sisters and other colleagues and friends would be that we often hear about these issues, but because they are not happening right next to us, maybe we don't give them the kind of weight that we should be giving. Perhaps later, Mishal and the other gentleman, if he joins us, would tell us about the actual situation. So we all need to join hands to help those people and play our part. I again thank you very much for your patience and your focus. Of course, for my part, I'm there as always. But really, I need to thank all the people who I can see right here and who would be working behind the scenes. This month-long fundraising campaign would be our share in lessening the miseries of those people who are affected. So let me thank you all. Thank you very much.